Use the problem first. My problem is a very simple one. I want to monitor an area. It might be a factory floor, or it might be a defense application where I want to monitor a border area without any kind of human intervention, and that too securely. I will explain what I mean by securely. My solution, one possible solution could be by using a sensor network. What I do is I place some sensor devices spread out all over the area, and thus I shall try to monitor the area. And by the word securely, what I mean, and well, sensor network I have described that. How do we do that? I shall describe. By securely, let me introduce this term. This is really a mixture of several concepts, one of them being cryptography. By secure communication among the sensor nodes, I mean that an eavesdropper should not be able to decipher the communication that is taking place between any two sensor nodes. I want to make sure that, because it is expected to monitor some areas of strategic importance. Sometimes even we may need it in civilian applications also. And this is my basic notation, not very complicated. There is no harm in assuming that my area might be partitioned into a grid pattern. This is my grid. Okay. I am not very familiar with this thing, so this will do. There is no high-tech thing here. This is a grid, a simple grid. The spacing between the grid lines is U, and you consider a specific sensor node sitting over here. Yeah, that is, I denote its coordinates by IJ. And also, I am considering an area with say row on this side, row on that side. These two are also row. This I have described, this I have described. Now coming to the next part, the secure communication part. By secure communication, I mean when two parties or two sensor nodes here, when they communicate among themselves, they must have two keys in their possession, at least two keys. By key, I mean something, it could be a number, it could be something else, but suppose I want to communicate with this gentleman. I have a key, he also has the same key, and then only we can decrypt one message that I intend to send to him, and vice versa. So there is a question, how do I distribute the keys among the sensor nodes? And moreover, I want to do it strategically so that any two nodes can communicate with reasonable ease. Well, I thought of this problem for a while, and I saw a very strange similarity between two things. I had a square grid and I had several points of intersection. I knew of a combinatorial design. It is known as a transversal design. And that transversal design also has got an inherent structure which is of this form, of a square grid. Before going to that part, let me introduce a few things to you. The first thing is a combinatorial design. Let me show you a very trivial example of a combinatorial design. It is a projective plane. You might be knowing of a projective plane from different contexts. Let me still show you one. This doesn't write. suppose I have a set of 7 members and I denote them by A, B, C, D, E, F and G. I will tell you why I have drawn this triangle and I have written these letters over here. What is my objective? My objective is to divide these 7 guys into different groups so that any 2 groups have exactly 1 member in common. Can I do that? Is it always possible? The answer is in the affirmative here. How do I do that? I'll show you. Let me write it out. It is actually very easy from this diagram. You will see that there are 7 lines here. Sorry, I missed one. In mathematics, anything you connect even by a circle, you can call it a line. So though my drawing is terrible, still this is also a line. Let me write out the 7 groups. A, B, okay, so C, G, F, A, B, C, C, D, E, E, F, A, G, D, B, D, F, and B, G, E. These are my 7 groups. I should have written them like this. Just to save time, I have written them like this. Anyway, just consider that I have these 7 members and I divide them into these groups. The surprising thing is, you consider any 2 groups, you will find that there will be exactly 1 member in common. You name any 2, these 2. C, D, E and A, G, D. D is common between them. This is called a projective plane. And the general idea is, if I have such a set and I can divide that set into several subsets with certain properties, that might be called a combinatorial design. It will be technical, too technical if I describe the other properties, so let me skip it. This example will be sufficient, how I divide the keys. And suppose if you consider them as a set of keys A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and these guys, these sets would be my sensor nodes within which you may place these keys, etc. And any 2 of them will be able to communicate. Well, I thought of transversal design. A transversal design is a bit more specialized, so it has some 1-to-1 correspondence with a square grid, and how the keys are distributed, I wanted to show you that one.